guys are hexapuffing, aren't you? This has been the most insane, exciting thing ever. I can't believe how many people have been having so much fun hexapuffing and sending me pictures of their hexapuffs, and people are making movies with their hexapuffs and they're taking pictures of them, you know, diapered as babies and carrying squash and sitting on porcupines and French horns, and hexapuffs are out there having a good time. And it is the coolest thing. It's one of the coolest things that's ever happened to me, to see it, to get to see everyone having so much fun with it. So I love you guys, and I'm so happy you're having fun with it. Like, it's just, I'm not gonna cry. I actually did this video earlier and I kind of started crying a little bit, so I'm cool. I'm cool. I just am happy. I'm happy that you're happy. So the reason I'm doing this video today is because of this magazine, Yarn Forward. It's a UK magazine, and it's now called Knit, actually, so if you're looking for it, look for that. But about 6 months ago, I had a couple patterns come out in this magazine, and one of them was Mr. Fox Stole My Heart. Get it? So funny. I know, it's unbelievable. So here's a picture of the pattern. Aww. And there's a very lovely looking lady wearing the fox. Very posh. And they did a designer inspiration feature on me as well, which was really sweet. Made me happy. And then there's also Catching Butterflies gloves in there. So both of the patterns the rights are reverting back to me this month, so I'm really excited to release them both in my Ravelry store and on Etsy. The butterflies mitts are going to probably come out next week or the week after, but right away I'm going to be releasing the pattern for the fox doll, and I have a few foxes. How many do you actually expect me to pull out? How many is wrong? When is it wrong? So this is the first one that I did right here. This was my prototype, and I did this out of Rowan Felted Tweed and Rowan Kid Silk Aura held together, so it's really, really fuzzy and thick, and he turned out, he's kind of like a big, huge Arctic fox, and he's really cuddly, so he's good for a good hug. But I did sort of like a fluffy-licious chin and fluffy-licious earsicles, and I think he's got a fluffy-licious little tail. So he's good, and I loved him, but he's a little bit big, I thought, when I first did him. So, I mean, you can essentially do this pattern or do him bigger just by using a bigger yarn. But I mean, he was sort of competing with me for conversation. You know, if you wear him around, like, people, who are you going to rather talk to? Him, right? So I wasn't getting any conversations in, so I had to sort of think again. You just stay there, no offense. Little Arctic fox. And I made this one, and he's a little more actually like a fox. He got a little squished in the box on the way here because he's the one who went to Yarn Forward to get his photos taken. Whee! So he just kind of sits and hangs out like that. Ta-da! I like him quite well. And when I sent him off to the magazine, oh sorry, Casualty! When I sent him off to Yarn Forward to get his photo taken, I was totally afraid he was going to get lost in the mail, so I made myself another one just in case. And I gave him some really fluffy-licious ears. Except the only problem with him, I'll cover his ears for this part, is that I pulled his eyes in too tight, and so I made him have sort of like a Jay Leno chin. So he's like, waka waka. I don't know that Jay Leno says waka waka, but there's nothing wrong with Jay Leno. He's a famous TV person. He's a lovely guy. But anyway, so he has a few technical issues going on with him, but lovely. So he stays. But the real reason I'm doing this video, and the real thing I'm getting excited about, I'm excited about them, but like they've been out for a while, so I'm like not kind of freaking out about them as much, but I am completely freaking out about this. I have friends. A mini fox. Oh, look at him. Look at him. He's sweet, honey. He's tiny. So I made this one just because I had the idea, you know, what if you made it out of 4-ply with smaller needles, and I adjusted the pattern just a little bit. There's a few differences, you know, in this and that, but essentially he's the same. And that's him right there. He's kind of posh. You could take, you know, these kind of guys over here like to go to a good football game, but he likes to go to the opera. And he likes caviar. They dig out of the trash cans. No offense. I'm really offending them, aren't I? I'm like, you're Jay Leno digging out of trash cans. What? Oh, our lives are horrible. That's actually the sound that foxes make. Have you ever heard of fox? They make this sound. Like they're proper banshees. Like I think that's how banshees were invented, is by the sound of foxes. Anyway, this guy, the sound he makes is like, I'm a little fox. He's quite sweet. His favorite thing to do is go to the opera and necking. Get it? Anyway, Papa. What? Oh, what? Oops. I pushed it, didn't I? Oh, what? Oh, what? So these guys I didn't use anything to attach, but I used a magnet for. Is that grammar? Don't worry about it. How I did it was I used these super strong magnets. I don't know if you guys have seen these before. They're little tiny, but they're super, like they're properly strong. Like they'll actually injure you. So you can get these on Amazon. Just look up super strong magnets. I've got my needles attached to them so I can do some embroidery. But then I just made like a little felted pocket and stuck the magnet inside and just stitched it here. I ran out of this color wool, so I had to use brown, but that's okay, no one will see that. And he's got another one there, so when you put him on, he's just like a little necklace. Oh, Dodo. Oh, Dodo. So I made him out of Jamison 4-ply wool, sock wool basically, and look how well it blocked out. Can you believe that? When I first knitted this, you know, stockinette stitch, it curled up into a tube. It was actually look like that, and I thought I was going to line the back of it with some like silk or something, but then I blocked it out, added a bit of hair conditioner in it, some real good like Clairol hair conditioner, and rinsed it out and set it flat, and look how well it blocked. It's properly flat, and I mean that's there's no edge stitches or anything. There's not even a slip stitch on the edge. It's just stockinette stitch, and it doesn't roll, which makes it nice when you wear it, because I think it has a nice effect, you know. Oh, you could still put some silk on the back if you wanted it to be a little softer, but if you use the hair conditioner and let it sit in there, because wool is kind of like hair, right? I mean, it's not, I know it's not, but you know, it really makes it kind of soft. So there he is. So I wanted to show you guys that because I'm really excited about him, and I think he's going to make good Christmas presents because he's not too long to knit up. So now that I'm releasing the pattern, it's going to have directions for, I just love that. Oops. That's my phone. See, I have friends. My phone rang. It maybe was a solicitor, but still, they liked me and they called me. So the pattern's going to have directions for Mr. Fox and Minnie Fox. And not him, but you know how to make him. Just use bigger wool and bigger needles. Any wool will do, really. What you really want is to knit this part long enough so that it goes around your neck. And then you'll be fine. So I hope you guys are having fun with your Hexapuffs and that you like to squish them. I left these some a little loose so I could squishalize them. Squishalize. And I've actually been leaning on it, so it's kind of been getting destroyed. But I mean, what good is your wool if you can't lean back on it and squish it? So thanks for watching again, and I hope you have fun with your little mini fox if you make them. Oh, you know what I'm actually doing? I gotta show you. I'm making one out of Angora, a pink Angora fox, and I'm really excited about that. So this is just the start of his little head right there. But look, oh, can you imagine how cute that's gonna look? And then I'm using real hand spun Angora for the chin. Chinalicious. So I like to see people sort of experiment experiment with different kinds of colors for their foxes and stuff. And then also expect the Catching Butterflies mitts to come out pretty soon. I'm moving back to America in 2 weeks, so I might have to release them when I finally get back home. But happy knits, you guys! Ah! And this is how I feel about you whenever I see your pictures of your Hexapuffs. Even the Hexapuffs hater, anger up. Even the Hexapuff haters, because I actually ran into this woman who was a Hexapuff hater, like a proper Hexapuff hater. And I was at a wool festival in London, and someone kind of whipped out a Hexapuff, and she was like, "Oh, you're doing Hexapuffs," and they were like, "Yeah, you know," and she's like, "I hate Hexapuffs." All the people making the Hexapuffs. And I was like, "You don't like them, you know?" And she was like, "Well, just like everyone's doing it," or I don't know if it was some sort of like backlash, like people are doing it, so I'm not going to, or something like that. But it was really funny, and I didn't actually say I was the designer. I was just like, "Oh yeah, well yeah, they suck. I hate them too. So stupid. I mean, I mean, just stupid. Just you're so right, and everything you say is what I feel as well. So we're on the same page. So anyway, Hexapuff lovers, Hexapuff haters." You know what that means, don't you? It's from Friends. But I'm going to end it with, I don't want it to have the bad feelings, so I'm going to end it with Hexapuff love for you guys. And big kiss.